Yeah, so I'm Henrik Fåhraeus. I'm a principal game director at Paradox Development Studio. Worked for Paradox since 2001, pretty much. And I've had my hand in most of the games that we have developed in one capacity or another. Started out as a scripter, worked as a designer, AI programmer, gameplay programmer, project lead, manager, you name it, pretty much. So these days I am kind of overseeing the design philosophies of the designers at the studio, and also working on a new and secret game. I'm probably best known though for being game director on Crusader Kings 2 and Stellaris. You know, it's like AI programming and designing games is similar in that you never feel done. There's always more you want to do. It can never get good enough, so it's like a never-ending story, basically. The idea of making a space game has been kicking around at the office for a very long time, actually. So it was more a question of when we would have the ability, you know, the resources and the chance to make a space game, and exactly what sort of direction it would take. So I think it was pretty much when it was clear that Crusader Kings 2 was actually a huge success, and Europa Universalis 4 started doing really well as well on release, we simply decided that, hey, now might be the time to actually do a space game. And there were several strong arguments for that. One was basically we wanted to try something new, see how our fans would react to us not doing a historical game. Another one was we wanted to make a really accessible game, a game from PDS that was really easy to get into, with a slightly simpler rule set than usual, and also the fact that you start out small on a single planet and you're introduced to the game mechanics as you go, which was a new thing for us. We've always made asymmetrical games where you can play Russia or Luxembourg, so on. So those were some of the strong arguments. We hope to reach a broader audience as well than with a strictly historical crowd of gamers that we usually target. So we thought that, hey, you know, let's see if we can marry the possible real-time grand strategy formula with a 4X and see where we end up, basically. So the exploration of the 4Xs, if you will, that was the one I wanted to focus on, the exploration part of the game, because I feel that it has been underdeveloped in many other 4X games over the years. And I'm also very fascinated by emergent storytelling and, you know, procedural generated content. So that was also sort of one of the reasons to make this game, or something that made me feel really strongly about making this game.
What's your own background with 4X games?
Oh, it goes way back. I've played them all basically since the original Civ, or even before that, games like 7 Cities of Gold, and you know, which weren't really a 4X game, but I've seen the genre sort of form and gel into what it eventually became. So all those early games, Master of Magic was a great one as well. And yeah, I have a lot of experience with 4X games, but this was the first one I designed.
Yeah. Did you play a game called, on 64, a game called Imperium Galactum, SSI?
Yeah, it rings a bell at least. I think I'm maybe confusing it with another game. I think that was called something like Supremacy or something. That was probably
that was an Amiga later.
It was an Amiga, yeah, exactly. No, I did play it, but I don't. To be honest, I don't remember much of it. But
character graphics and lots of text and really working gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And a limit of 255 ships in your fleet.
All right.
Why do I remember this?
Yeah, but I mean, this kind of game has been around since they were text-based on Unix machines, basically. It's like, what was it called? O2 or something, Conquest. I don't remember exactly now, but it was a game I played at the university as well that was purely text-based. It was actually multiplayer, I think, but your planets were just ASCII signs. Yeah, some things have gotten better, but you can never get back those golden days when you were a child and you sort of, it was magical experience. Basically we wanted, since we do simulation games, we didn't want to focus too much on the world building and sort of creating an alternate world. Instead we chose a method where each new game, or that was the ambition at least, would be to explore a new galaxy that could contain whatever we could come up with, basically. So we drew inspiration from all kinds of science fiction books and films and TV series and wherever we got it from, basically. And while we didn't sort of copy it straight off, it served as an inspiration for the kind of stuff that can happen in the game. And of course, the hope is that when these kind of tropes or little science fiction-y stories interact, they can also give rise to emergent gameplay. It's something we've seen a lot in Crusader Kings 2, for example, where even though some of the scripted stories can actually interact in very funny ways. It's like when you get a Joan of Arc character who turns out to be the son or daughter of Satan, and or at least be the guardian of the daughter of Satan. So. And those are the kind of unexpected stories that I really love to see.
Yes.
It's when you work on historical stuff most of the time and you have to take things very seriously, it's always very tempting to go a little crazy sometimes and just vent some steam with, in weird ways. And Crusader Kings 2 is good for that because you can play a lunatic or possessed character, and then it's okay if they experience the world, shall we say, a little bit differently than most people. So it's fun. It's also easy to go a little bit overboard. And it's something I like to talk to the players about. Where do we draw the line? How much is too much of this kind of stuff? But now we have the game rule system, so you can actually turn off supernatural events and stuff like that if you don't enjoy them much.
Has there been some occasion, some game event, somebody playing, and he has had experience that is really has stuck to your mind as unusual or funny or strange?
Oh, there are so many things. People love telling stories about what's going on in especially Crusader Kings 2, I think. And they often write them down on the forum. So, for example, this Joan of Arc story is not something that happened to me, but it was reported by someone on the forum right after we released that expansion. But it's also stuff like bugs and glitches that can be very amusing. Like we added this horse character that you can appoint to your council in a very Caligula-like way. This horse can do the job of my chancellor. The funny thing with that is it introduces so many bugs in that you should not be able to interact with a horse as if it was a character. But of course, people found that they could seduce the horse, they could sort of nominate it for a bishopric, so it became a bishop, and then eventually the pope, and it's like so many things that happened with that horse. It's called Glitterhoof, by the way. It's hilarious stuff. Some of that is so funny that it's almost heartbreaking to fix those bugs because it's so amusing. But yeah, they are bugs. It's getting a bit hard, as I said, to come up with new stuff, and the code base is getting a bit rickety. It's a bit shaky. So I don't know exactly. I can't say, but I think people should prepare for the day when we dial it down a bit and we go down to maintenance mode on that game as well.